Oh, we are live right now on the Love Gurus podcast. Why isn't the intro going? There we go. Yeah, that's right. It's the Love Gurus podcast. We are taking ridiculous dating questions from the wild animals on Reddit and from you in the comments section. Here we go.
You think your love life is going kind of bad?
Oh, they know it is. That's why they're writing in.
If you find out your girlfriend accidentally banged your dad.
I think she did it on purpose.
You think your romance maybe ain't the norm.
It is. Not the norm. It's not the norm.
Find out your fiance has been slipping it to your mom.
Leave my family alone.
Just ask the love guru.
Yeah, there's a lot of family stuff
to tell you what to do.
It's a common theme.
A lot going on in this theme
Listen
song.
to the love gurus, or your life is screwed. Love Guru.
Oh, you heard the man. This is the Love Gurus podcast. Thank you to everybody out there for listening. We are live every single Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, unless I'm having a little bit of tech issues, which I was tonight, and then we'll be like a few minutes late. But
Always.
Either way, we are live right now. So thank you all for being here, man. I'm super happy about the episode this week. A lot of bad shit going on in the world, you know?
A lot of bad shit is going on in the world. So we're going to take stuff that is basically completely irrelevant to your lives to help you just escape. You know, this is sort of, what's that? There's like a Janet Jackson song called Escape from like the 80s. Like, that's Sweet Escapade. Never mind. Okay, bad reference. But same thing, you know, this is a sweet escapade, so you can forget about the fact that we might be in war in a couple weeks.
Yes.
Whatever.
Hopefully right now Janet Jackson is doing a live stream of Sweet Escapade going out to the people in Ukraine.
Why don't we just send
for moral
Janet
support.
Jackson to Ukraine to do a concert? Don't you feel like that's going to really solve the problem?
She would go to Ukraine and she would do a concert that would broadcast in Russia, and then Justin Timberlake will show a little bit of her titty for like half a second, and Putin will be like, oh, and then his government will freak out like ours did, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it'll shut the whole country down.
Yeah.
So they can't go to war.
I just feel as though we need to give Janet Jackson diplomatic immunity, send her there as our voice of peace and reason, and it's going to be fine.
Absolutely. Janet, you got this one. But we got the crazy dating questions by all those people out there on Reddit and on YouTube. But first, let's introduce our guest. First up, she is an amazing stand-up comic and the official fill-in host/guest of the Love Gurus podcast, the one, the only Amy Liszka. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
She might look familiar because she did the podcast last week.
Yes, that's true. For those of you who remember, she was on just recently.
It's nice though. Like, what if your partner wasn't a great fill-in, and then it was
awful?
oh god, okay, Tori.
This fucking show would suck if that was the case.
Fine, Tori, you can do the podcasting. It's just so nice that you have someone like Amy to fill in if needed.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what a blessing is what I'm saying.
Thank you. Is this kind of like a Texas, like the high, like, you know, when they say, "Oh, you're so darling," it's like fuck you.
No, not true. I'm treating it as a Hooters manager. I'm only accepting the best.
It was not a condescending Southern bless your heart.
Yeah, bless your heart.
It was misogynistic at best. Okay.
Yes. But another amazing stand-up comic and a returning guest to the Love Gurus podcast. Find her on social media, the one, the only Laura Merli. Thank you for being back on the show.
Woo!
Yay!
Tell them where they can find you.
Oh, I'm on Instagram at Passive Abrasive.
Ooh, great.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
I like
I'm
that.
on YouTube at youtube.com/Laura Merli Comedy.
There you go.
Yeah, where I just released a video about why I'm freaked out by horses.
Really?
Nice.
Horses,
Yeah,
huh?
it's scary. Yeah.
Is it getting kicked by them? Because getting kicked by them would
I
suck,
don't know.
right?
We want to like tease the audience a little bit because obviously all of our interests were piqued. We want to
Sure.
make them go to the YouTube video. But again, my interest is piqued, certainly. Yeah, by the horse
absolutely.
video.
I want to see this horse video because I've seen some really freaky horse videos in the depths of YouTube.
Yeah.
100%.
Googling horse videos on YouTube never helps you to keep a job. Am
Yeah.
I right? Okay.
Yeah. Never type in Mr. Hands on a work computer. Also, the guy died.
You know, I was trying to find that video and I couldn't find it.
Has it been scrubbed from the internet?
I think so, unless
Dude.
I'm just bad at sleuthing.
You know, the whole time I was watching the Pam and Tommy doc, I was like, you think you got it bad, Pam? This poor Mr. Hands guy, man. Wait till you see his video.
Is there a Mr. I don't know this Mr. Hands video.
Is it the one where it's the accordion player?
Oh,
and he's,
no.
No.
I've never seen this.
It's a gentleman
not so gentle.
who had a kink for
Accordions?
Can we say curse
Equestrians.
words on this show?
Yeah, of course you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who had a kink for being fucked by horses?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I'm not sure.
I love that you were going to talk about a horse fucking video, but clean, like censor. Like, what if kids are watching this thing where he just casually brought up horse fucking? I got to make it to where it sounds okay for
When
you.
a man and a horse love each other
He
very
was
much.
trying to make bottom love to a horse.
You remember the deleted scene in Shrek, kids? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
On the DVD.
Oh.
That donkey can fly. What? Okay. But wait, so he was trying to make so he was the bottom for a horse.
He was the bottom
Yeah.
for the horse, which is inadvisable because they're too big for that kind of thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
But supposedly,
But he was going for the record, this guy.
Supposedly he had done it before and it had been okay. I don't understand how that's logistically possible, but that's what they say. Apparently this was a special farm that was for that sort of thing.
Oh.
And he died.
He died during the video?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, he died doing what he loved, but,
I think there's a reason why you can't find it on YouTube now. That's disturbing.
Well,
Yeah.
not YouTube. You'd have to go to other places. You
It
know
was
what I mean?
an urban legend for a long time. I remember when I was in college, everybody was talking about it. Everyone
Yeah.
was like, have you seen it? Do you get the reference? Like,
The reference?
yeah, they'd just be like, oh, you see
popular
Mr.
cultural
Hands?
reference.
Yeah.
Mr. Hands.
And I didn't get the reference at first. I thought it was about something else. And then I felt like such a loser
Yeah.
because I would be like, oh, yeah, like a guy doing weird stuff with his hands. And they were like, oh, no.
You're like, whoa, I love close-up magic.
yeah.
I got to get my nephew to see this. He loves magic, too. Come here, Billy. We're going to see Mr. Hands.
They were like,
Pick
you
my card,
innocent
pick my card."
dumbass. Yeah.
I'm going to make something disappear, all right? I'm Mr. Hands.
Wow. Well, that's really sad. Well, yeah, I guess.
I mean, I
as-
thought it was an urban legend, too, until I met Mrs. Hands, his widow. And she didn't want to talk about it. She was very embarrassed.
Aww.
Yeah.
Change your last name to Mr. Feet. That was somehow even better. Somehow Mr.
Interesting.
Feet, yeah, it was a bag up from Mr. Hands.
They should have at least called him Mr. Hooves.
Yes, at least give the horse some, credit. That doesn't sound right, does it?
It
Okay.
wasn't the horse's fault. You know, I am freaked out by horses, but in this case, human error.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to blame a horse. I mean, why was there horse food?
Yeah.
Around your ankles. Like, what's going on here?
Well, sometimes people die from, they call it like the perfect storm. It's like, a myriad of things happen very coincidentally, and then that causes someone to die. This doesn't sound like that.
No, not much so much. This was an A to B. This was a point A to B.
Yeah, this was
Straight shot.
This was the hypotenuse of the triangle.
This was you're taking a really big risk.
Yeah.
This was skydiving without a parachute.
Yeah. It's that was definitely a big risk. So I would say that these questions this week are less graphic than that. But there's nothing.
Yeah,
about,
rarely do we
probably
start a
find
show with horse fucking. I mean, it gets there eventually most times.
It's like we've just been on the roller coaster. It's a roller coaster where there's only one drop, and then that's it. The rest of the roller coaster, it's just like actually just takes you to the parking garage.
100%.
This podcast is going to be today.
All the questions are going to be like, is it okay to hold hands?
Yeah. It's very much a lot of kissing on the first date, sort of.
This roller coaster is called Mr. Hand's Big Bottom, and it gets rough. You got to sign a waiver.
But but we do have a lot of great questions. We also have a very expensive bottle of wine that Jake accidentally bought.
Yes, absolutely.
Wait, how did you accidentally buy it?
Just the label was in a different spot. It was one of those where the label was like close together with another label in the fridge.
I say he accidentally bought an expensive bottle. It's almost like if I say you accidentally bought it, it's almost like I'm suggesting you stole it. He didn't steal it. He totally paid for it with his hard-earned money.
It fell off of an expensive truck.
And didn't shatter miraculously.
Yeah.
Fell
Landed
off
on
of the
some
truck
pillows.
into my grocery bag.
100%. A truck full of grocery bags collapsed right behind us, so it just boom, right there.
When you said that you accidentally bought a really expensive bottle of wine, I do have to say I thought you were going to say $100.
Right, yeah. That's why we had to clarify.
Before we got in the air, you said $15.
But because we know, or I know that if Jake went up to the cash register, and even if the clerk was like $25, Jake would be like, I'm taking this shit back. Like, he wouldn't have completed the transaction.
It's just like, I'm garbage enough to feel sad that I paid $15, $17 for wine. But, like, not garbage enough to go to be like, $15? What am I, a fucking Rockefeller? Turn around and go back to the fridge. Like, I just can't do it. Even I'm a trashy guy, but, like, I can't
normally do stick to $5, $7 wine myself.
Yeah. Well, it's people, especially in New York, like, say, oh, you can't do it. But there are places, like, if you go to, like, that the Trader Joe's wine, you can buy loads of, like, really good wine for, like, $3.
Yeah, the $2 chuck, man. That stuff's pretty good.
I had trouble finding that when I went back after COVID.
Because it's not.
It went up a little bit.
Yeah, it's not $2 chuck.
Yeah, it's like
anymore. That's
$3,
because
$4 now. Yeah.
I'm a million years old.
Yeah,
but it's like three or four.
Yeah, and they were trying to do the $2 chuck when it wasn't really. It was like $2.99. I'm like, that's not a $2 chuck.
Yeah.
Chuck.
Trader Joe's employees, don't you try to trick me with your nice attitude? This ain't $2.
Yeah, they really did not think about that name.
99 cents is a dollar.
Right? Yeah. And the dollar store didn't think about their name. The
dollar store also fucked up on that.
Yeah,
McDonald's dollar menu.
The dollar store is now like $1.25.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
Yeah.
No, they evolved past their name, but they haven't rebranded.
Yeah.
Yeah, the $1.25 store just sounds sad,
Yeah.
That CEO should kill himself. That's ridiculous.
I hate decimals.
Yeah. I ain't going in here. There's a decimal on that sign.
Yeah, because I respect Five Below more than a $1.25 store.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
It sounds like you're haggling with me. It feels like I'm somehow being cheated. At the Five Below, it feels like I'm getting a $4 product for $4. $1.25, it just feels like you're cranking up the price of a $1 product, and I'm getting scammed. I'm getting scammed.
It's still in the grand scheme of things, because we went to the dollar store. It was like a couple months ago, and like especially being in New York, and then we went to the dollar store. We bought, I'm not kidding, it was like so much stuff, and it came out to like $25. It was like, I'd shop here every day if I could. Like, it still was fine.
That's great.
And then the one thing that was actually really sad about the experience is we're inside of the store checking out, and outside of the dollar store in their trash can was a woman going through the trash. So she wasn't even going through like a Walmart trash can. She was going through like the dollar store trash can.
Dollar store trash
can. And the cash register just goes, she's here every day.
Well, I feel like the moral of the story is that the listeners now know how well we're doing in our careers. That we're like, the dollar store is not $1 anymore.
Yeah.
I do think in that woman's defense, if she kept coming back, she must have found something good in there at some point.
It's one of those things. If you've got the time, she seemed like she looked like she's probably retired, so if she at one point found something that was ace, and then she's like, listen, it's kind of worth my time, just come back here for 15 minutes.
She seemed retired, not homeless.
Right, yeah. It's
hard to tell.
Because one makes me feel really sad, and the other one makes me feel like, okay, you have a hobby.
So
I'm sadder for the lady that retired, because at least the homeless lady, it's like, well, you did a lot of heroin, and now you do this. But it's like the retirement lady, it's like, you worked for 20 years and have such a shitty pension that you're in not just a dumpster, but a dollar store dumpster?
I didn't think about it.
I think it's more, I personally feel like it was more of like a hoarder situation. So because this was like an area, it was like, Hampton/Long Island, like right on the border.
Sure.
There's not a lot of homeless people out there.
Right.
And so, I think it was more of like a hoarding situation. Like maybe once she went there and she found half a bag of licorice and thought, score. I would eat, not the part that was exposed, but like the part inside of the bag, I'd eat that.
Yeah. I mean, dollar store dumpster diving, you either find shitty dollar store things or sometimes fentanyl. And so it's kind of like a scratch ticket in that way.
Yeah.
I like it.
You find a little baggie of Coke, all right.
I'm behind on some comments. We got Joel on YouTube says, welcome back, Amy. He says, time to start the questions.
Time to shart.
Time to shart. Hello, it's 8:15. It's time to shart. Time to start the questions. Woohoo, giddy up. He says, $15 is a step up from $3.99.
Yep.
True.
Tim on YouTube.
15 is a higher number than 3.99.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, we usually do 3.99, and we drink every single letter in the word decimal every time we do, and it's bitter. Tim Kendall says Jack and Jill went up the hill both with $1.25. Jill came back down with $2.50. Oh, hits cigarette like dice. I didn't even realize it was a dice joke until he said that. So I didn't even read the I didn't even do it like dice.
Can I say I thought the phrasing was funny, but I don't think I understand what it means.
It means Jill fucked Jack for $1.25.
Yeah.
But why what does the dice mean?
It was Andrew Dice Clay. That's one of his jokes.
Oh.
That's one of his famous jokes. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Old Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard and he'd do the cigarette behind the head.
To be fair, I didn't get the dice part, but I understood why Jill now had $2.50.
Oh,
I
yeah,
got that part, but I didn't know that.
I thought Laura was straight up confused about the math.
No. I think that part's clear.
I know there was decimals involved, so I apologize.
I can do math. I'm not familiar with Andrew Dice Clay's repertoire, and I actually am not familiar with him just being called the Dice out
Man.
of context.
Fair enough, but like I said, but me either. Like I said, I understood the part about the $2.50, but the dice part, I was like, maybe she had some
when
dice.
When you said a dice
her...
joke, I thought you meant a joke that people tell when they're playing.
When they're playing dice.
Yeah, they throw it and then say, Jack and Jill.
Now, usually when people throw dice and make jokes, it's to distract all the other dice players so they can grab the money in the alley and run off.
So a dice joke could be a real thing.
Yeah. A dice joke is all right. So Jack and Jill go up the hill. Oh shit, the cops! And then you just grab the money and run off. That's the way I used to do it. I used to do that shit when I was on crack.
Yeah.
You used to do that shit by dumpsters behind the dollar store.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Were you really on crack?
I mean, I've smoked crack.
Okay.
I wouldn't call him. I wouldn't say like on crack like we did it every day.
It's not like it was like, it's not like it was like 15 minutes ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking like years.
Yeah.
We're talking,
Okay, no, just curious. I wasn't
cool.
trying to.
If not every day someone meets someone who smoked crack.
But that's the thing.
I feel like she feels unsafe in her house
No,
now.
I
She's
don't.
like,
He's like, Suzanne, do you want to switch me seats?
I didn't really notice. Are you? Hey, okay, nice seeing you guys.
Yeah, and besides, it's not like it's as bad as crystal meth, which I have also done.
No, I wasn't judging you. I was just curious if it was the type of joke that was a thing that actually happened, or if it was the type of joke that was like, this would be crazy if this happened.
It would. Now, I never actually stole money from a dice game on crack.
Okay.
I would mostly just want to sit in a chair and smoke more crack. I was a pretty chill crackhead, I suppose.
That's cool.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really just like cocaine.
There are two kinds of crackheads. There are introvert and extrovert crackheads.
Yeah.
Jake just happened to be an introvert crackhead.
I think
extrovert crackheads are the ones in the alley.
100%.
So,
I think we need more representation of chill crackheads.
You know, they never tell you about the good things crack does on those fucking billboards. Nancy Reagan. Oh, all crackheads are missing teeth. Shut up, you lying Republican whore.
A lot of other people are missing teeth as well.
Yeah. Just people that don't brush their teeth, Nancy.
Yeah.
Could be a coincidence. Maybe he smokes crack and also doesn't have a toothbrush. You're going to blame the stimulants?
Yeah.
I blame the toothbrush.
I'm sorry. The listener said they wanted us to get to it quickly.
Yes.
I put us on a winding road that went away from progress.
No, that's all right.
No, that's completely what this whole podcast is about. If we, this podcast is like Seinfeld. If we learn anything, we failed ourselves.
Yeah, that's true. We were going to call, the original name for this podcast was Long and Winding Road, parentheses, away from progress.
Yeah.
But that fucking bastard Paul McCartney sued us.
I was going to say,
fuck
we
him.
didn't want to get any like emotional Beatles fans listening to us because we're not your audience.
Paul
You're not
McCartney,
our audience.
I better not run into you while I'm high on crack. I'm going to fuck you up worse than John Lennon did when he was high on crack.
Or you're just going to sit and chill and look at him.
Yeah. I'm just going to ask him stupid questions about the Beatles that people have been asking him for the last 60 fucking years.
What was John Lennon like?
Who's the Colby?
Why'd you get that haircut?
Yeah. But so let's introduce the wine, then we can crack on with the questions.
Yeah. Joel on YouTube says, if she thinks she's unsafe now, wait until she meets the dog.
Yes. was. Well, we mitigated that problem.
We did.
I really thought
did.
I was going to be attacked by the dog.
Oh, somebody was on the podcast last week.
Really?
Yeah, they came in late, and Deviant got bit by the dog.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And 2 weeks before that, Fluke got bit so bad when he came. This is before the podcast that we had to bandage his stomach.
Oh.
It's an evil little dog. I mean, it really is.
You guys are totally gonna get.
I saw two really different sides of the
Stop
dog.
admitting this on air.
We already. Well, one of them happened on air,
also-
so there's not a whole lot to lie about.
Also, listeners, what you can't see is she's literally sleeping there right next to Amy.
Yeah.
Like the most angelic creature that's ever been.
She's fucking adorable.
She's like totally like, what? I never have to do
When I
anything.
came in, she was talking shit. She was threatening me.
Yeah.
She was saying, "Get out of my house."
She totally was like flipping her braids back and forth. Like,
This dog is the spirit animal of Kathy Bates from Misery. Okay, 1 minute it's baking you a pie, the next minute it wants to stab you for something you wrote in a book 15 years ago.
I mean,
it's crazy.
You guys should have actually named your dog Tanya Harding.
Tanya Harding.
Like,
Oh yeah, 100%.
If something was really going to embody her spirit. So.
All right.
Anyway, but or I don't know if you want to do the wine.
Oh yeah. Let's hear from our somewhat sort of sponsors. That is the red wine that we're drinking. White wine rather. This is Da Condensa Rias Biaco from Albarino, Spain. That's right, man. This was the one that I had to get. It's a cool bottle. Is it not a cool looking bottle?
It is.
It's colorful. It's got flowers. It's got like an elf lady. It looks like if one of the women from Lord of the Rings started an OnlyFans. It's fucking wild, dude. And I should have known it was pricey because it's got like braille around the elf. So even when blind people are like, I want to drink wine. Oh my God, it's a hot elf chick. That's cool. I want to drink a wine with a hot elf. They drink this.
If you spend $15 plus tax, you can get Braille too.
Laura da Condensa. This wine is made from Albino grapes in our winery Laura da Condensa, located in the valley of Saunes, which is in Galicia, northwest Spain. I'm probably saying all of these wrong. A percentage of the wine was fermented in 500 and 600 liter French oak barrels, and the remainder was left on its lees for approximately 4 months. The lees provide. I don't know what the fuck a lee is. Lees? Is that like a leaf but smaller? I don't know.
I don't know either.
No.
But either way, the lees provide the roundness and the structure on the palate and ensure the optimal conditions for aging this white wine. Lager da Condencia, the official white wine of sexy weird elves. Get you some. And now let's take our first question
it says
from
lees are dead yeast.
Oh, that's gross, dude. I wish I didn't know that right now. That sounds disgusting.
In beer, is the yeast alive?
No, I think it all dies.
It's always dead.
I thought it was it's the yeast eating the sugar and then
Farting.
shitting out or whatever
Shit
the
farts.
alcohol. That's what makes the alcohol, right?
Yeah, it's cool that we appreciate their shit farts.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I think we eat a lot more excrement than we really want to think about.
Yeah, dude. Most of what we've been drinking is excrement, and that's why we're so
I'm
hungover
just
all
saying,
the time.
I eat at Taco Bell, so I'm not gonna. I
That's true.
have no dog in this fight. Okay.
Yeah, you just had a flaming hot excrement wrap before you came over here.
It was delicious.
Yeah. All right, now let's take our first question from the wild animals on Reddit.
First question.
First Joel says, Jake on crack. Hey, Paul, do you remember that time you died in 1996? That was cool.
What?
Paul would not think that's funny. Okay. So first question.
1966. Sorry.
First question. My husband wants us to be a family 3 years after he denied that he was our son's father. My husband and I are both 31 and have been married for 8 years, although 3 of them haven't really been much of a marriage.
I just realized I've had the wrong question up here for the entire episode.
Oh,
That's
no.
my bad.
That's okay.
There we go.
It's a sneak peek.
Yeah.
Okay. This started over 3 years ago when we were trying for a baby. We tried for over a year and I wasn't getting pregnant, so I went to go see a doctor to see if I had a fertility issue. I was told everything was fine and that I should be able to conceive naturally. We tried for another 6 months before we decided to looking into adoption. I ended up getting pregnant and it felt like a miracle until I told my husband. He refused to believe that our son was his and claimed that a doctor had told him that he was infertile, even though he had
I like infertile.
Infertile.
Why, I can't even make white wine.
I can't suppress my Kansas accent all the time. Okay? Certain words I don't use.
I didn't hear it at all.
Just comes out.
My name is Dr. McMurray. You are infertile.
You're infertile. You want to go to the restaurant later?
Numerically speaking, that uterus is fucked, girl.
My dad is all anyway. Never mind. Side note. But my dad will still say restaurant, and it's like he'll say everything else, but then he'll say that one word, and it's like anyway. Okay, that he was infertile.
The Iowa accent isn't too bad, but they call soda pop, and I just want to fucking. It makes my head explode.
Yeah,
I don't get it. It sounds like a joke to me.
Pop.
To me, it was like nostalgic. Like when we went for your guys' wedding and they were like, oh, do you guys want any pop? I was like, no, you did. I'll have a Pepsi.
I'd be like, is that drugs?
That better be called code for soda with fentanyl in it. Yeah. Otherwise, I don't want any.
All right. So continuing on. So the doctor was saying he was infertile, even though that he never mentioned seeing a doctor to me. He wanted a paternity test while I was still pregnant, but I refused because I didn't want to take the risk to the baby. After I refused, he sent me to live somewhere else.
Wow.
And that was the unofficial end of our marriage. From that point, he ignored me and acted like I didn't exist. I know some people would wonder why I didn't divorce him right then and there, but I had no family except for him and except for my husband and the in-laws, and so I didn't want to lose them, even if he was being awful to me. I also stupidly believed that once our son was born, he would do the paternity test and realize he was wrong and we could fix things. That never happened. He continued to ignore me and our son after he was born. I'm not sure what finally spurred him to visit our son, but he showed up unexpectedly and stayed here for 4 months, even though I repeatedly asked him to leave. 2 weeks ago, he told me that he was sorry and that he made a horrible mistake and wanted us to be a proper family again.
No.
I didn't give him a yes, so he's been trying to win me back since.
It's hard to be both a deadbeat dad and a couch crasher. That's fucking wild.
I've been thinking about it a lot since, but I can't decide what to do. Despite everything, I do still love him. Our son is still young, so he would be able to adapt. We're still married, and my husband has been financially supporting us the entire time, even though he thought our son wasn't his, so I know he's not a complete ass.
All right,
I know
that's
this
a
is
little
a strange
bit redeeming.
situation, but does anyone have any advice on what to do?
Can I
I've got. Go ahead. But
No. I mean, it's going to go off to another, but I just don't know why he kept to himself that he went to the doctors and never told her that he got tested if he could be fertile or not.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
like
weird.
that's like a red flag. I would have been mad. Like, that's already divorce enough if you don't tell me that you knew that you were infertile the whole time.
Yeah, what did he do? Was he just like, oh, I'm going out to get a sandwich, and he was going to get his sperm tested?
Yeah, he went out to get a sandwich and then had to ice his balls for the rest of the evening. It's very odd. The fact that, and again, also, they obviously were actively trying for a baby, and he goes and does this, and he doesn't tell her about it. But then when she does actually get pregnant, he's like, oh, that's not mine. Like,
Which
what are you
makes me
talking
think
about?
he didn't actually want a kid, first of all. And second of all, I don't think, I shouldn't say no condition, because there's probably some condition, but close to no condition, there's a 0% chance that you could be fertile. It's usually just like unlikely. And the doctor probably explained that to him, and he probably willfully ignored it.
That's actually a really good medical point of view as well, because unless there's like some sort of like, if a woman has a hysterectomy, of course, like she can't have a,
Exactly. If you don't have balls
a really good
at
point.
all, or I can't even think of something else.
Yeah, does this guy have balls? If you're listening out there, tell me if he has balls.
I knew this girl that she was a vasectomy baby. So it's
that can happen.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, things happen. It's not like, oh, she's definitely lying just because she got pregnant. It's like, well, it was probably...
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes they're like they sever the things for a vasectomy, the little tubes that the spermies go down, but then every now and then the guy has like one of those Green Beret sperms who just chisels through the vasectomy wall like Andy Dufresne in Shawshank.
Exactly.
It took
and
19
sometimes
years.
they have a low sperm count, but it only takes one.
Yeah, exactly.
So
So yeah, because I think there's a few things that are interesting about this question. One is, why didn't he tell her why he said he was infertile and what the conditions were behind that? B, why did he just abandon her instantly, essentially, and not wait around until the baby was born to get the paternity test?
Yes, I think
3, why did he wait another 3 years?
Mm-hmm. There had to be other stuff going on.
It was 3 years. He didn't come back for 3 years.
Well, she quote unquote went to live in another place. So I don't know what that means, but she went to go live separately.
But
he was financially supporting
I'm on this
her
guy's
the whole
side
time.
now. I think I'm starting to. I'm starting to veer toward this guy's side. So we try to point this out at least once an episode. When in doubt, err against the people writing the questions, because A, they're on Reddit, they're animals, and B,
we like to break up families.
We hate the family unit, the nuclear family. I can go nuke itself. That's the way I feel. But C, more importantly, when there's weird details that get brushed over, even though there's a lot of detail in the question, I have to believe there's a convenient reason for that, because these questions are a source by, for, and about the person writing it. It's their Fox News or MSNBC, their North Korean state-run news, if they happen to inherit the entire country. So this, I went to go live in a different condition, a different spot. And like, that's weird. And then it's like, wait, but he's been paying you this whole time too? So he's not really a deadbeat dad. And then you just kind of throw that in at the end, just kind of sprinkle in it. He's been ignoring us. It doesn't do anything. Oh, he's been paying us the whole time. No. I've been living someplace else, but I'm not telling you where.
Yeah.
Like, that to me is, I think she's been with another dude the whole time. I think that's the guy.
It's the reverse. He has been, see, this is what happened. He was already messing around with someone else.
Yeah.
And he probably didn't want to have another kid. And I'm sorry, you went and got tested to see if your sperm was good or not, but you still can't do the dishes. Like, I don't think he actually, like, for him to figure out an appointment and get that done, and then like, I'm sorry, any guy that does something to that level, they tell everyone, hey, did you know that I actually made an appointment and I went down?
Okay, that is totally true, because one time, this was like years ago, but I was at work, and this is like, we had like, those open cubicles, so I'm in my cubicle. Yet I overhear a male coworker tell another male coworker how sore his balls are because he got a vasectomy the other day. And he's like, man, like the air conditioning clicks on and I can feel it. And I'm like, we're in cubicles! I can hear you! But he was like he was so proud.
To be fair, I worked with that guy. He didn't get a normal vasectomy. He got it from a horse. Okay? That was Mr. Hand's cousin. He had a horse kick him. That's how he did it.
Yeah. My projection of this is that I think there was a lot of problems going on with the marriage.
No,
absolutely
not. Hope you're wearing some gloves. It's time for some hot takes. Oh, just came out of the oven, bouncing around.
Burning hot. Controversial. No, but before, I think they started trying, and then I think shit really went down, things were bad, and they just kept trying instead of ceasing. When they probably should have just.
But don't you know that a baby fixes all marriages?
So
that's what I
feel like
told.
Can never be said too much that a baby will make your relationship worse.
I agree.
Never ever, and like we'll never save it.
It's now you have the same problems, plus you're sleeping less, and there's shit and puke everywhere.
Yeah,
yes.
It sounds disgusting. This whole baby nonsense.
I don't know. I mean, so if we. I think best case scenario is that, like this guy did go to get a fertility test. Maybe he was embarrassed by it because the doctor said that he was infertile. Then she becomes pregnant.
Allegedly. Allegedly he got a fertility test.
Right.
Yeah,
and then she gets pregnant and he's like, and he is still like, his confidence is shook because his manhood, quote unquote, is, in question. She gets pregnant and then he's like, oh, well, you had to have cheated on me. Again, even if that is all exactly what happened, I still don't understand the 3-year gap. Mm-hmm. Again, like it's like if she doesn't want to take the test,
that's a lifetime.
Yeah, like so for 3 years, he wrote that child support check every month, supported them.
Right, that's what doesn't add up.
Well, I kind of think he had to have known it was his on some level then, because.
Why would you pay the child support?
Exactly. Presumably, he's paying it because he
That's
knows
not
he's
my
gonna
kid,
get
but
in
I will
trouble.
give you thousands of
Yeah,
dollars.
yeah.
Ooh.
I would rather give $1,000 a month and get a paternity test for like $200. Like,
Yeah.
no, that doesn't add
No,
up.
yeah. Whenever people refuse to get paternity tests, I don't understand it because it's truly not that involved. It's like a COVID test.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
it's just like licking something.
I'll do a paternity test with anyone who wants me to. Even if there's no way I could be your mom. Like if you wanna try it out, like let me know.
Exactly, yeah. Well, but yeah, so but maybe it was a situation where he, they're obviously this is their only child. And so it was like, okay, like we're going to do this. We're going to have a kid. And he just, once she got pregnant, he freaked the fuck out, which also happens. Like, I've definitely had male friends that like the wife or the girlfriend gets pregnant and they just,
it gets too real.
We
it
forgot
gets
to
too
add
real.
these people are like 16 years old. There's like,
Oh, sorry. No, they're 31.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
Okay.
I should have
All right.
said that. So so it's, he probably just freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
And then had to go whore around for a little bit. So he's like still paying. So it's like
but that's tougher for me than if they were 16, early 20s, or even mid 20s. Like to be late 20s and just completely freak out and run, it kind of makes me think you are just never going to be ready to be a parent.
Right. Yeah. It's a
I'm
shitty
surprised-
thing to do
I'm surprised
regardless
that you
of
live
the.
in New York and can't like fathom that. I mean, look at
Well, okay.
look at our friends.
So I'm 33.
No one raises their kids here, man.
I'm 33. I never want children. I have no interest at all. So that's like the vantage point that I'm coming at. But I do,
winning.
But I do think if like you're somehow forced into that situation, you would respond differently at late 20s than you would early 20s, teens. I can totally understand more running away, but it might be just like a bigger insurmountable problem. If
Anyone hopes that when you're an adult, you would respond like an adult in any of those situations.
That's true.
That's always the hope. But,
That said,
that's the hope, but that's not the reality.
The two things that are really throwing me off together is A, the fact that this guy is still paying child support while insisting it's not his. That to me is a weird. It doesn't add up.
That's weird to me too. But I don't know how to. I'm not.
But B, when you add it with I've been living someplace else for the last 3 years.
But
and then nothing,
but
and
thing is,
all this detail with everything else.
He wanted her to leave. It wasn't like she wanted to leave.
But I think there was something going on with another dude at the time that this kid was
I don't
conceived.
know for sure there was something
Or at
going
least
on
shortly
with
afterward.
another dude, but I know there was more going on than the person is saying for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
But I don't necessarily think it's another dude.
I do, just because of I'm living somewhere else. It's either another dude or she is living in a crack
but that
house
wasn't her choice.
off of the wire.
That wasn't her choice.
Right, but even then, it's like,
I think there was another woman,
and that could have been too. But the fact that we got because the thing is, again, she's her own defense lawyer and she's his prosecution lawyer.
Right.
If it was, I'm living with my mom, I'm living with roommates, I'm living with this guy, but I met him afterward, like we would have gotten something. The fact that I've been living someplace else, the fact that no details whatsoever makes me think there was another relationship on her end.
That just because it is so hard to find an affordable 1-bedroom in this country that there is a good chance she's with someone, and that she didn't say friend.
Yeah.
And she specifically said she has no family. Or did she say she has no
Yeah,
friends?
I feel like
she said she has no friends.
Well, she said that she has no. Let me
family.
Just make sure.
She feels like she has no one besides him.
I think she said that she has, no one else.
Okay, but that's a bigger issue. You need someone else. Even if you take him back, you need someone else in your life. You can't just have one person in your life and be okay.
She does say, I have no family except for my husband and in-laws, which makes sense, because it's tough to raise a baby. Like, you want family nearby. So
I feel for this person, even if the whole story isn't there. It sounds like a bad situation.
I feel there are no good guys in this question. In fact, even the kid is a product of two people with no good guys, and will grow up to be not a good guy. So I'm not even on the kid's side, really.
Yeah.
But I'm saying this. I'm not saying this guy's not a piece of shit. He is, because even even if your significant other is cheating on people, and we don't even know that that was the first time he said that he was infertile, do we? Did she say he never mentioned he was infertile until this?
Yeah. So she said she was pregnant. He said, well, you had to have cheated because I went to a fertility specialist and the fertility specialist said I was infertile.
But is that the first time that he'd ever told her that? We don't know that, do we?
Yeah.
We do know.
She didn't know that he went to the doctor.
Okay, so that is pretty goddamn weird, you know? Yeah.
And also,
that said, he should still be taking care of the kid, even if it's like you whoever cheated on you and then ran off, whatever. Well, for one thing, you could sue for custody at that point, and that's what you should probably do. But you should at least see the kid. It's not the kid's fault. The mother is, if this is the case, a bit of a hooer, as Ralphie from The Sopranos would say.
I just don't know why he insisted on having a paternity test when it was unsafe for the baby, but as soon as the baby was born, he just paid for it and didn't want to take the test.
That's what I'm saying. That's crazy.
Very sketchy to me, too.
Yeah.
That's weird.
That, to me, is indicative that he knew it was his kid. He just wasn't ready to be a father.
Is it even possible to do it in the womb? That seems difficult.
But it like you have to like puncture the amniotic sac, and so it's like you're at a much greater risk for miscarriage.
Yeah, so he was probably like, oh, there's a way I might be able to get out of this fatherhood thing if she like miscarries.
Laura, that is dark, but I can't say you're wrong.
I think he probably was like, I just need to know, honey.
Oh my God, I think you've cracked this case wide open.
He was like, listen, to save money, we have to rent this other apartment with a lot of winding stairs leading to the door with very, very little lighting.
Yeah.
Why does that room say abortion on it?
I read somewhere that you need to take like a bottle of vitamin C every day to like be safe.
Yeah.
No, but
why does the orange juice you give you every morning taste like a screwdriver? What are you doing? What is this?
But yeah, it's it is interesting. Like, what if he again? I'm still on the boat of he freaked the fuck out. And so maybe he like insisted on this paternity test because he thought, well, worst case scenario, I find out it's mine or something, really bad happens. It's like, oh God, it's dark, but I definitely think it is a possibility in this case.
Yeah. Well, the question is, does she move forward with him or not? And so for me, I am leaning strongly towards no. And in large part, she said one of the reasons why she's thinking of staying anyway is because he won't leave. And to me, that's another red flag. If you tell someone that you're uncomfortable with them moving in with you and they don't leave your house, that is bad. That's not commitment to the situation. Yeah. That is them like potentially being an abuser.
So I completely agree with you. I also think that she should tell him to head for the hills because even though as fucked up as the rest of this is, it's for that one specific fact that he was staying with her. She's like, you need to leave, and he doesn't. Like that to me again is like indicative of an abuser, of someone who is controlling, and this is her. I mean, this is like a very pivotal moment in her life.
I missed the part at the end where he didn't leave. I thought he lived there for a few weeks and then left. He's still there?
For 4 months.
Oh, for 4 months. Jesus Christ. I thought it was a few weeks. Okay,
like,
4 months is a long time. That's weird. That makes me think maybe there was some kind of like two of them on the lease kind of situation. Again, we have very little info about the living situation.
So, okay, my understanding of it, correct me if I'm wrong, because it's not, the words aren't in front of me, is that he was like, you have to leave. So she left. And then 3 years later, he tracks her down. He's like, I want to be part of this. She's like, I don't know. And he just moves himself into her place. And she's like, I don't know if I'm comfortable with this. And he just stays there for 4 months.
Yeah, that's kind of what it sounded like to me.
Yeah, if that's what's going on, that's fucking wild, man. I just, the lack of detail whatsoever on the living situation, as well as the fact that he's been paying child support on the whole time while insisting it wasn't his, and not getting the paternity test, that to me, I'm like, none of that adds up whatsoever.
I think
like something weird's going on.
Enjoy the plausible deniability, but know deep down that it's his kid.
Yeah, probably. Like because again, he definitely, I think, as we've said, he believes on some level it's his kid, and that's why he's been paying the bills for the last 3 years. You know,
Sure.
But if he doesn't want to step up and be a real dad, it's nice to have that plausible deniability of like, well, I didn't really know it was mine, so it's not really my fault I wasn't there for the first 3 years. You know?
But then it's like, well, then don't pay anything. If you're going to be a deadbeat dad, enjoy the fruits of being
Fully
a deadbeat
commit
dad.
to it.
You know,
Yeah.
take the money you were going to spend on the kid and gamble on sports with it. Like most deadbeat dads. Some of my best friends are deadbeat dads, and we have a good time. We party with the money that should be being spent on their kids. They're good guys, man.
I do feel like the half commitment to it is a red flag for sure.
It's weird. It's
Yeah.
weird. It doesn't add up. It's like I know tons of guys who have ignored their families over the years. You know what they didn't provide? Child support. That was the first thing to go.
Yeah, for sure. I know that too, and it's just like, but they like genuinely have certain thoughts in their mind, and I feel like might be a person who's doing some sort of double think situation, where he's kind of hedging his bets.
Yeah,
which is more sinister even than if you just leaned into the.
But then I'm also like, if he's been living there the past 4 months, how's he ignoring the kid? Isn't it the opposite?
He's not ignoring the kid anymore.
Okay, so he hasn't for the past 4 months.
So she's like, should we just be a normal family now or not?
The dad wants to get back together and just be the Brady Bunch.
You guys, I cracked the case. It's like like the river runs through it. He was actually buried alive, and a mobster was paying his bills.
So that never happens in A River Runs Through It.
What was that?
This is A River Runs Over Him. It's a really shitty mob movie from the 90s.
What was that mobster movie?
I don't know.
A River Runs Through It
That was
is
Brad
with Brad
Pitt,
Pitt,
right? Yeah.
and he has like a gambling addiction and gets like
Something with
pistol
a
whipped
golf
to death
course?
at the end.
No, but there's a character where she always gets this child support, but she's never seen her husband. He went out, and the mobster was paying the child support the entire time.
With Sean Penn.
Something River.
Yeah, was it Dark River? Was it? I know what you're talking about. Mystic River.
Mystic
Yes,
River.
and that was a great movie.
Yeah.
Way better than A River Runs Through It.
anyway.
It was awesome.
A River Runs Through It is like 80% about fly fishing.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
And
I don't like fly fishing.
And honestly,
Right? Yeah. I learned to hate it throughout that movie.
And coincidentally, I hadn't seen that movie in years and years and years, maybe since I was like a kid. However, fairly recently, like within the last 3 months, I had seen it. So had I not seen it, I would have maybe not corrected you.
Oh,
but I'm glad we got to the bottom of it.
Also, since Suzanne has watched that entire movie twice through, she is now a champion fly fisher. She teaches schools on it.
You gotta tease those little guys.
Yeah.
You gotta let them make it float on top of the water, and that's what makes them horny.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, but to your point about how you think there's another dude there because she didn't say who she was living with.
That's what I think.
A theory that I have is she could have legitimately not been cheating, but then when she thought it was over between them, and had to find a new place, got with someone else.
It is possible.
Have a housing.
I think it would have been in there
noticed?
if that was the case.
She said, this has all gone over a span of about 3.5 years. And
So
they
much
didn't get a
time.
divorce this entire time. They didn't get a divorce.
Right,
Yeah.
there's too many weird little things to where I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
And like I said, when there's a weird lack of detail, I tend to err against the person writing the question because I'm like, if they leave it out when there's a ton of detail, if this was a 3-sentence question, fine. This was like 3 paragraphs. When they're leaving important details out like that, I have to believe that there's a reason for it.
I kind of feel you because I am against posting your personal problems online as a rule.
You're Reddit. You're all wrong.
No, but clarify, like, anonymously or, like, as your person?
I'm afraid of both. Like, I don't
Because
understand
90% of what is on Reddit are anonymous
Yeah,
accounts.
it's super anonymous.
Yeah.
Like if someone found it, it was a really crazy coincidence. Like
because
they
I
had
always
to
like
do
to
some
leave
diving.
that from the first part of the question because it always says throwaway count for obvious reasons because like people I guess check each other's Reddit accounts
Reddit
now
accounts now
people are
it's like
monsters.
dickface78254 like it's crazy.
It's a
Yeah, throwaway account because this is a story about my sister peeing in my mouth.
Right.
Now you're catching
Not
on.
that I posted something like that.
I'm not Angie, I'm Banji. Yeah, like that. They go
flaunts
hard
her
on
flawless vagina in front of my face.
It happened 3 years ago. It's fine. What was I talking about? Yeah.
guy.
I feel you on some level, but I do think there's certain things she said where I'm like
the guy's definitely a piece of shit to some level.
Kinda on your side.
He is.
Yeah. Even if it's partially true, I think there's something that happened to you that is sad.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I'm saying there's no good guys in this question. I'm saying it's sort of like the Hateful Eight. It's sort of like Game of Thrones without the Stark family after the first season. It's nothing but bad guys here. Even that kid is going to grow up to be Joffrey. But like a poor white trash Joffrey.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope not.
Yeah.
But who can say?
Who can say? All right, so
He's
finally...
going to be district manager Joffrey.
Yeah, can you, if you're listening to this, please write a post 18 years from now to let us know if your child is a serial killer.
He's either going to be a serial killer or a CEO. He's going to be a terrible sociopath. Does he use it to climb the corporate ladder, or does he use it to eat the faces of women that kind of look like his mother when she was young?
Oh,
you know?
no.
I'm leaning more toward the second thing.
On America.
We got Tim on YouTube says he could have sown some more wild oats, then decided to think about the long road or big picture.
I'm with you, Tim.
He says, and had the heart to pay the child support. Yeah, that's possible too. He said Mystic River is great but heavy. Yeah, it's not one of those to where it's like, let's pop Molly and watch Mystic River. Like it's up there, you know. Yeah. But it is a great movie, man.
All
One
right,
of Sean Penn's best.
Yeah. So final advice for this question. My advice again is get sever ties. This dude there's something very wrong about this situation, and you need to move on with your son. Especially the fact that he's already paying the bills.
Make some gal pals that are like family and all live together in a compound.
Oh, yes. We talked about this last week, the communes in Denmark. Mm-hmm. Get yourself into one of those.
Get in a commune of supportive people.
Yeah. I don't know. This lady seems manipulative. We haven't gotten a lot of detail from her on certain things. I think she might end up one of those stabby compounds. I think she goes to a compound, somebody starts talking about actresses she doesn't like, and then boom, Tate murder. Boom, Tate murder.
See,
I think she's going to be one of them.
I consider myself a person to be really skeptical of other people online. There's a lot of posts that I read, and I'm like, I think you're bad, and you're just not saying it. But this one doesn't. This one raises, I would say, only like pink flags for me.
That's fair. That's fair. It's pink flags. Yeah. It's not super red flags. That's fair.
Yeah, because I think there's a lot of ways that you can tell yourself a relationship is working when it isn't. And I think there's a good chance that she's not purposely trying to manipulate people, that she's just in her mind not seeing
she wants this nuclear family.
She wants it to have been almost perfect, even though there's no way it could have been. No. And then this was the end result.
Yeah.
Like she wants it to be this story, this narrative of it was almost perfect and then this happened.
Yeah.
But there's no way that could have been true. No. But I think she could be just deluding herself.
Yeah, even now, best case scenario, this is a cordial divorce. Yeah.
No, I agree with you. And my final advice is, girl, the ball is in your court. You have full control of him. Eat your cake and have your fun too. You have him wrapped around your finger. Just do you right now, and whatever.
Agree.
Yeah, make him suffer. I don't care. Just make him suffer, because now don't even worry about his feelings. Now you can just do. You know.
Agree.
Yeah. I say, what does a dude have to get a paternity test? Is it jizz? Is it spit? Is it blood? How does that work?
I think any.
It's nothing.
They could take
get
your
it from a saliva.
Yeah, they could take a bit of your fingernail.
So to be safe, get him real drunk so you can get all four of those things. You know what I mean? A bit of jizz, bit of blood, bit of spit, bit of fingernails. Right?
Whoa,
get that all in one night.
Quite the Q-tip combination, if I'm right.
You mix it with some lavender or some dragon's blood, and you make a stew, a brew, and then we put a curse on him. No, and then you get that paternity test against his knowledge and will, and you just have that paperwork on hold to where if he starts any of his shit, to where it's like, I don't know, I mean, I've been paying for it even though I don't think it's my kid. I had the fraternity doctor, blah, 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 blah. And you just like, bam, look at the paper. Now give me money and keep giving me money, or I'll tell the boy you're really his dad and not just some guy that fucked me for 4 months named Gary, you know? And you just threaten him with that. Yeah. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of anxiety, because it is a ticking clock to when the child is going to have a formed enough brain to understand what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
And right now, he could leave and they would not even care or know.
Yeah.
But if he stays for too much longer, that would be a traumatic situation for him.
100%.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
leave.
I think by this child's 6th birthday, he's going to be a little bit like, I'm glad they took me to Chuck E. Cheese, but mommy and daddy are a bit fucking dumb. Like, both these people fucking suck.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think we answered that question. Should we move on to the next one?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I can't wait to hear another question.
Next question on the Love Gurus podcast, people. If you have any questions to write in, then goddammit, write them in right now to loveguruspodcast@yahoo.com, or even better, listen live every single Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Give us the questions, give us the comments in the chat. We're going to take another one from the wild animals on Reddit.
Next question. I believe my wife's male colleague hacked into my social media. I'm 30, my wife is 27, and we've been together for 2 years, married for 1 month. About a week ago, I attempted to log into my Facebook account, only to find my account had been deleted and my password had changed. After I managed to recover my account, I was prompted to view my recovery contacts, and that is when I found a mobile number that I didn't recognize. After sharing it with my wife, she informed me that it was the number that belongs to her male colleague. Let's call him Sam.
Wow.
Additionally, Facebook showed me the date that the new recovery number was added.
So that means the wife's not even in on it. Or she's probably not.
Yeah. The date that the new
How
recovery...
does she know the phone number? No one knows phone numbers. Sorry, we'll do this after.
Yeah.
I know my grandmother's number, and I think I'm 1 or 2 numbers
I
off.
only
But
know my
it's-
mom's, and that's it.
Well, it's presumed that it's like in her phone, so like they maybe like checked their phones or something
Okay.
like that.
Maybe.
They like sort of cross-referenced.
I do like the idea of him waking her up in a dead sleep and who's 917-523-8427? Oh, that's Gary. Let me go back
Yeah,
and
I
sleep.
know off the top of my head.
Yeah, out of a dead sleep. She just knows them numbers.
Yeah.
So additionally, Facebook showed me that the date that the new recovery number was added was the day before our wedding.
Wow. He is such an investigator.
I've never
and he remembers the date of his
Dude.
wedding? What?
This is a digital version of Dustin Hoffman banging on that fucking glass in the The Graduate.
Yeah. I've never met Sam. I only vaguely know him and that he sits next to my wife at work. My wife immediately said that it cannot be him. Why would he... no, I'm good. Why would he use his own number? But when you add a number to Facebook, an authorization code is sent to that number, meaning that whoever added Sam's number had to have had access to Sam's phone. I've contemplated confronting Sam about it, but I'm hesitant that he would counter with a harassment claim against my wife. My wife also doesn't want to report the matter to HR. She's adamant that it wasn't him. I haven't filed a police report because obviously nothing is illegal. Everyone says it's not him. I am close to some of my wife's colleagues, and I asked Sam's team leader about it. The guy is very well liked by everyone in the office, and according
Red flag.
to his team leader,
They're supposed to be ambivalent about you at work at best.
Yes.
he doesn't seem like the culprit, but he has been acting strangely in the office. For example, my wife has moved to sit to a different desk since the event came to light, according to the team leader. Sam keeps looking for excuses to be on the other side of the office where my wife is now sitting.
Sam's a
fucking
pervert.
creeper.
Yeah.
Creeper.
Again, nothing illegal. It's possible that this guy accessed my wife's phone as my Facebook is logged into on her phone, but it's also easily possible that he traced my details as they work in the public sector, and he can search for my contact details very easily.
Is she like married to an FBI guy? This is like, the fact that he's just like saying this nonchalantly, like that you can just find out the date when someone puts in their
This is
phone
too
number,
much
right?
for me. Just take the fucking other account off as an authorized account. Just take it off and move on.
Quit making your password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You dumb shit.
Take the account off. Change your password. End of question.
So
Jesus.
okay, so this is again old. Like, so his actual question is, but to just delete my account, what sense does that make? What does anyone gain from this? And where do I go from here? So again,
No, don't delete your account. Just take off the authorized person. Can't you do that? You can't do that?
There's a thing where you can log out all other devices. That's
yeah. Well, but I also don't know on Facebook, like if there's, I don't know, like an authorized user.
There's a head user, and they say who's authorized, I think, and then they can take them on or off.
Like, oh, okay.
Take them off and be done with it. You don't need to launch you don't need to make this your personality.
No.
You know, you've actually really just simplified this question and boiled it down to like the brass tacks, because I was like,
you can log yourself out of all other devices. They just send you shit to your phone. Like enter the code.
I'm like, it's not complicated.
It's
like
totally
honestly,
not.
like
It's
no, people do it all the time.
Take the unauthorized account off. Somebody hacked in. Maybe it was him. Maybe it wasn't. Doesn't fucking matter. Just take them off.
And also,
I had a similar situation actually. There was somebody that my wife worked with, some fucking creepy ass dude, got on my phone, started looking up Mr. Hand videos. You know, that wasn't me doing that shit. I ain't watching horse fuck videos with some guy.
No, but it's like, I love that. Yeah, this question to me is now boiled down to like a very simple scenario. Just get your Facebook sorted as a normal human should.
Yes.
And then now, obviously, that the wife is aware of this suspicion, which is pretty substantial. She's asked to move to another part of the office. If he gets creepy, well, then it's tough, but you're going to have to get HR involved. I mean, this is like an open and shut case.
Are we against the husband or the guy that's trying to talk to her?
Both.
The guy at work.
So,
we're against everyone, but Laura's just given a the simple solution for the whole
I'm
problem.
Kind of shocked.
Yeah, this fucking boomer just needs to know how to work technology. That's what's going on.
I'm just shocked by how much the guy knows, like, where she is at all times. That's the thing that's like scary.
I'm 100%. I don't have my partner does not have access to my Facebook. Not because I'm like doing anything wrong, but just like, why?
Exactly. No.
It's like, I got this phone for you so I can control you.
You don't trust me enough. You have to be logged into my fucking Facebook.
Well, that's a little weird. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that part. I was under the assumption that somehow he used her information or her account to gain access to his, maybe figured out the password, something like that, right?
That's what I thought too. But also, like, just like people hack people's Facebooks, people also hack people's phones.
Yeah.
And it's like, just fix it. Like,
right.
I know, but I feel like if she does, that's a whole nother argument. Like, now she's going to be dead because he doesn't try. He's like, why would you do that?
Yeah, like, change all your passwords to Phil is a creepy fuck 123.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's, just a simple matter of sorting your passwords out, making sure you change your phone PIN. Like, this is very, and if it happens again or something else happens.
No, wait.
But it is also hilarious that he, like, hasn't logged into his Facebook in a month. And
some people just ain't on there much, you know?
But is the wife, does she want to be friends with this guy at work, or is she trying to get away from him?
She is saying that, he didn't do
that's
that.
like boom, boom.
Oh, I think that's
that?
I think we might be brushing the cords on the table.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I think
back.
it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's good.
Sorry. It's good to go.
But yeah, so I think the wife is saying, "Oh, it's not him. Like, Sam wouldn't do something like that." The team leader is like, "Sam wouldn't do something like that." I mean, that to me just like,
I don't think they actually
killer.
asked the team leader. I think they just said the team leader likes him, which to me, it is a red flag when someone is too sociable at work. It's like, save that for your hobbies.
Yeah.
At work, we're doing work. We don't need to be fun in the sun. Like, how was your weekend? More than a sentence. Like, move on here.
Every time someone comes up and starts chatting with me all friendly at work, I say, stop trying to steal my fucking identity. And then I storm away from it. And you know what? This has never happened to me. This problem right here.
I don't know. I don't mind a little weekend chat. I mean, I hold my cards close to my chest, but I don't mind like giving like a 30,000-foot view,
Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. I was kidding about that. I'm chatty as fuck at work, but
what?
I'm chatty. I'll show up drunk sometimes. You know what I mean? I'll show up on crack. It's a thing that I do, but I'm just, no one's gotten into my Facebook there. In fact, no, that's a damn lie, because I've just kind of noticed that my account was open on just different computers and stuff from work, and so I did this very thing that Laura was saying. You can do a thing from pretty much any device where you're logged on at the time to where it just says log me out of all other devices, and it just sends. Yeah, it's like resetting your password. You know, it sends a code to either your phone, your email. It gives you options, and you have to
more
do it
people need to do this and be aware of this, because too many people in my life have gotten their accounts hacked and are sending me annoying ass spam about investing in cryptocurrency and how I can make a lot of money mining Bitcoin, but they're not actually giving me information about mining Bitcoin, and I don't want to hear it anymore.
But
like,
also,
figure it out.
I agree with you. However, my question is, why are you like logging into Facebook on the library computer? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you logging into Facebook on like rando ass?
Okay, so what I can speak to that a little bit, because for the longest time I was like, I'm never gonna log into social media at work. Like, that's not appropriate. It's
my job requires it, actually.
Oh,
I have to.
okay.
Yeah, I have to post stuff.
My old job explicitly was against it, and yet, you know, there are times where you got to a certain level of boredom and fatigue and just irritation, where you were like, you know what, I'm just gonna log into Facebook. I'm just gonna log in. And
what am I, a boomer? Am I Gen Z? Am I Gen X? No, I'm a millennial or Gen Z, so therefore I log into social media.
What can I do?
That's the new way.
What can I do? And yet I knew as I was doing that, I was putting my password in a space where other people at work could probably see it if they wanted to.
Sure.
Or could find me out, could sniff me out, could tell me I'm being unprofessional.
And you're like,
could find out aspects of my life that I don't want them to know.
The 20 minutes I'm about to burn on Facebook are worth it.
Yeah, exactly. I was just like, I need a shot. I need a shot of dopamine, as they say. I'm going to do it anyway. And I know that was a bad idea, but I did it anyway. And Fair enough. we all do things sometimes.
So some Russian bot got into there, and one of the things that she had on her social media was secret entrances to the country of Ukraine.
Yes.
And now the whole situation has blown up because she logged
whether
into the
it's secret entrances to Ukraine or it's just your friends posting song lyrics and you reacting to them, or it's you know, masturbating in the office bathroom. Like, what you got to do at your office. But sometimes there
security
are
weak points on the border of Ukraine for some reason. It's you masturbating to that. And he likes both of those things.
I had a friend one time, and she told her boss that they really need to hire more work, and the boss came back and said, so here's a list of all the times that you're on social media during work.
What a bitch!
Yeah, during work, and said, so I don't really think we need an extra person.
I would. That person deserves to be dead.
Yeah, but
like I applaud the boss a little bit. That's kind of a fun move. That's kind of a fun power move.
I've never. Yeah, but also, if you're at the point where you're like, oh, we need to hire someone else, to me,
you best be crossing your fucking T's and dotting your I's.
To me, it's like a fucking schoolgirl era.
Okay, can I say one thing about that? So maybe if that person is on it constantly, yes, but we are, as human beings, we cannot concentrate for 4 hours straight and then a 30-minute lunch break and then 4 hours straight. That's just not how our brains work.
100%.
That's what gets the Amazon employees pissing in fucking bottles and passing out on the ground. Like, and just like, even though it's not as difficult work,
come on,
as long as it's not as difficult work as being like in an Amazon warehouse, being in an office is still difficult work, and you cannot concentrate for that many hours on end. You need these little shots of dopamine from something else. You need to look at your phone for 3 minutes every 45 minutes. I'm just going to say it. You do. Yeah, like you can't.
Agreed.
You can't not do it.
Yeah, there was groups of people in the 40s that told people not to masturbate to Instagram on the company dime, and they were called Nazis, okay? They were called fucking Nazis. You want to be on the right side of history, corporate fuckers?
get us all handicapped bathrooms
Yes.
so we can masturbate
Yes.
during the day.
With charging ports next to the toilet.
Yes.
I want USB
Yes.
chargers by the toilet.
You're such a princess. You don't need a handicap bathroom to masturbate in the work bathroom.
I do.
No, I
I'm
can even do
shy.
I can even do it in a lengthy enough utility closet. I've been known to get
Maybe
the job
in
done.
the park, I'll walk around the corner of the park. Hey, Daryl, I'm just hanging out.
I've gotten down in crawl spaces like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible.
You
got
got in the vent. You were like unscrewed shit, like from the vent and like crawled in there.
I'm up on the roof, just kind of spread out on the four walls using two legs and one arm. Yeah. The other one was busy.
Yeah. So what's our final advice? Again, I'm on board with what Laura said in that just get your social media sorted out and then make him if he is vying for your wife, which seems like what's happening, make him make a bigger move that will get him fired, which will then
So I'm
mitigate
still like agnostic about that he's going for your wife. It truly could be his phone hacked situation. So deal with your Facebook situation, see if he does anything else, because if he's genuinely creepy, he'll do something else.
Yeah.
And it could be that, and I wasn't thinking about that. That is a good point. It could be that there's some kind of hacker in his shit. I mean, like how many emails do you get from
text
from people
messages
you know?
every single day? I get spam text messages that are like, click this link for some shit. I got a
and it'll
text
be legit
message.
people you know, but their shit gets hacked.
I got a text message the other day that was like, hey, I miss you and I've grown a lot. I'm a lot sexier. Here's a new picture of me. And it was this like chick that I did not know, and it was a pixelated picture, and I was like, this is not real.
Wait, but you clicked on the link, or like they sent the picture?
I didn't. They sent the picture.
But to be fair, they timed it right. She was masturbating at work. So, like, what's she going to do? Not click on this naked photo link? Like, come on.
One of the 40 times a day I was masturbating.
Laura's part of, like, the Google, there's a new beta that they're testing to just, like, send you spam messages for adverts.
I was like, honestly, it wouldn't need to be that much better for me to fall for it. Like,
right.
If it was a higher quality picture, it was all like pixelated, like it's been copy pasted. What do they call that?
Pixelated, right?
Pixelated, but there's another word for when like memes, especially, have been like copied and they lose quality over time.
That I don't know. I'm not a.
I just call them fuzzy.
It has artifacts
fuzzy
in
pictures.
It looks blurry.
Yeah, and
this meme is fucked, bro.
Yeah,
I don't like my blurry memes.
Well, I'm just still confused.
Your Honor, this meme is blurry. My client is innocent.
Your Honor.
I'm still confused if she's enjoying the attention from the
I'm
guy.
confused about that too.
Because I'm like, okay, now does she want? It's kind of like, oh, he's harmless. I'll just walk past this construction zone again and again and again, and like I like when he hollers at me. You know?
Oh. Let's be clear. The wife fucking loves it. Like, let's be clear.
I mean, maybe a little bit for her ego, but I think if she was really doing,
she's because again, there are so many facts that are pointing to this. And the wife is like, oh my God, Sam would never do it. I'm going to move to another space in the office. And she's like,
but
Sam,
okay, I think if she's moving to another space in the office, she thinks something bad is happening.
I think so too.
Moving your cubicle in an office is like, okay, it's not as big of a deal as moving your house, but it sucks.
It sucks, and you got to make up a reason, and it's a whole fucking ordeal.
The only time I've ever moved my cubicle in an office is because the person I was sitting next to was a fucking asshole that I wanted to murder.
Whoa, but so you think it's impossible that the wife sort of, is getting, she obviously like tells Sam about this and, sort of invents this whole thing. Again, to your point of how bored people are at work, she and Sam are chatting, and she's like, well, how about I, like, move to, like, another side of the office? And then you can, like,
it'll be
make
like
an
entire workday where I don't have to work.
We'll be able to just walk past each other every once in a while.
I'm just saying, like, work
I don't buy it.
Work romances are hot because they're so forbidden, and that's why they're so
And I agree with you on that point, but I don't agree with you that you would take the amount of steps it takes to move all your shit just to be horny.
You don't know, you guys, if this is a better cubicle. You don't know if this is the cubicle with the window, okay?
Or with the desk that moves up, so sometimes it's standing,
don't know
but sometimes
this.
it's sitting.
Also, things
it's got one of those walking treadmill things. You can go like that while you type.
Like, people in desks are so lean now. You know, it's not like... You know, it's not like back in the 70s where you have like a picture of your family and your diploma on the wall. It's like you have maybe a cactus and that's like your only personal item.
Maybe this is just me, but I get really stressed out about change. So for me to move my desk, it would be a really big deal. And I left my job and
Laura would have to find the guy outside of her window holding a clump of her hair.
With his dick in one hand and my hair in the other hand, and like a vial of my blood around his neck that he's like, oh, I sucked this out with a syringe while you were sleeping. But no, I mean, besides that, like, so I had to leave. I left an office job a couple months ago, and I thought I was really diligent about cleaning my space because I was really anxiety inducing. And then I got a text from my boss, my old boss, not that long ago. And she was like, hey, I opened your old drawer and there was so many Sour Patch Kids and water bottles and things. And I was like, I'm sorry. Like,
wow. Yeah.
It was full of Sour Patch Kids. And I thought I was diligent, but I wasn't.
Personally, I've never had a job within the last 5 years that I couldn't just leave instantly. Like if someone came and was like, you know what, we're done, I'd be like, I just pick up my bag and okay, cool.
Like Robert De Niro in Heat. Never take a job you can't fucking leave in 30 seconds.
I probably could leave instantly, but I have so much anxiety about it that I would just like pass out and hit my head against the pavement and have a problem.
What if I never see Creepy Craig from The Office again?
So wait, what's our final advice? Because we've only done 2 questions, which this might be a Love Guru's record.
Wow.
Yeah. We've been
we're being bad. We're
being too good at our job.
Way too good.
We're being way too good. So I was thinking maybe let's give our final advice for this question.
Door? Oh,
yes, that's where all our treasures are.
Yeah. It's where all the Sour Patch Kids are. We have a whole treasure trove in there.
Oh my god, did she open it in Sour Patch Kids?
I would have just like loved for gold to like come rushing out.
And he just starts cackling like fucking Wario. It was my Sour Patch Kids the whole time. And just fucking flies off.
Either that or it's another dog that really is going to attack.
And it would have a direct route to my head.
It's the 3rd dog we keep in the walls. Don't let him out. He hasn't been out in half a decade.
Oh, amazing. Okay, so what's I think I've given my final advice. Any other final advice for this question? Then we'll do like one lightning-ish question.
Yeah. Okay, my final advice is just be happy you're not the couple from the first fucking question. I mean, how much more emotionally stable is this couple? They're like, we love each other, and we're perfect in every way, and we got our heads on straight, and there's no weird details we're leaving out. But this other guy fucking sucks.
The only red flag to me that is weird that they left out is how the wife feels. I want to know, is the wife creeped out by him? Is she like, oh, honey, don't worry, he's harmless? Is she like, we're friends? And I think it might have been a misunderstanding. Like, because whichever one of those, or is she just like, I don't know, whatever one of those it is, gives me a totally different response to his
I agree too, but there's no way for us to really know that. But honestly,
the only thing that said is that the wife has said, oh, no, it's not him.
Right.
He wouldn't do a thing like that.
But that's the thing. Is like, since the wife's not writing the question, it's harder for us to get a gauge on how she feels.
Got it.
It's just what we're getting from it, as opposed to him brushing over how he feels. Like, he knows how he feels.
Yeah, no, you're right. You said that, and because it was such a bland statement, my brain just erased it. But yeah, that she's like, oh, it probably wasn't him, makes me think, you know what? Maybe it wasn't. Like,
and then it's also like, do you want it to be weird at work? Like, because I think part of her just wants to think, hey man, he's a nice guy. And like you were saying earlier, it could have been his phone got hacked too. Like there's weird fucking technology shit. There's Russian hackers. There's everything. And so it's...
A friend of mine got so mad at this guy and was like saying such mean things to him. And then because she thought he was ghosting her, and then he later like
His
sent her a
phone was broken.
screenshot, and was like, I was in an area where I got bad service, and I responded to you, and you just didn't get it. And then she felt bad about it, and
What
like,
an ass.
you know, like weird technology shit
Right.
happens, and
It
I
does.
feel like
But also, where was he? Like the fucking middle of the ocean? Like where doesn't have Wi-Fi or cell
The
service?
subway.
Oh, I mean, yeah, the subway. He could be.
wait,
if he's on a road trip, he could be driving. The entire state of Nebraska has no
Okay,
radio
wait,
or
hey,
cell phone.
So
It's crazy.
Hang on, what's time frame is important in this scenario.
That's true.
Was-
That's true.
So you're saying he went from?
I was picturing
he went
5
from-
minutes. I was picturing 5 minutes.
He went from 34th Street to 42nd. And she's like, "You motherfucker, you fucking ghosted me!"
No,
And
okay.
he's like, I took one subway.
No,
stop."
in her defense,
No.
in her defense, it was like
Half an hour.
It was enough days. But the thing is, you know how sometimes when you get into good service, it just goes, but sometimes it's just like, no, you have to click to resend.
Yeah,
It was that, and he didn't realize that was the situation because he was really busy with other shit. So he just
like
assumed,
banging other girls.
but he just assumed it went through. So he was like, "Oh, she's not responding to me," and she was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
he's ghosting me."
Oh, interesting.
His Gumar came up from his lap and was like, "Oh my god, you got all these text messages while I was blowing you," and he was like, "Don't worry, I'm just gonna say I was in a bad cell phone area."
I just think that this gives me second thoughts about traveling to Guadalajara. You know what I mean? Like it's
You don't need to travel to Guadalajara. You just need to get on the subway and go literally anywhere, and you won't be able
Anywhere
to
underground in between the stations.
Can I give my final advice? Because I think I know exactly where this.
Yeah,
needs to go.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, the whole moral of the story is that the husband needs a fucking hobby. He has way too much time on his hand.
Yes.
Like, I feel like no one cares, and he's almost being
No
even
one cares.
creepier than the creepy guy in the office.
Yes.
He's way creepy.
He's writing fanfic about the creepy guy in the
Just,
office.
Yeah,
Sir?
He thinks he's Liam Neeson. I know where you are.
Yeah.
You've taken my family. It's like,
Please.
dude, my phone was hacked. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Why are you getting all raspy on the phone with
Yeah.
me?
Sir,
This is
please
crazy.
just start watching daytime TV or something. Like, just, this is the way.
get into some K-pop.
Yeah, something. You need it, okay?
Yeah.
I
Tim on
100%
YouTube says,
agree.
I was a walking telephone book back in the day. I could still recall old numbers. Yeah.
That
yeah,
is
yeah.
impressive. Okay,
That's awesome.
Tim, that is super impressive. I do want to say most people cannot do that.
I can
Sorry.
remember. I still remember like childhood numbers. Like I could call like my neighbor from when I was 7. I could dial like my old house.
I just
phone.
remember having a piece of paper like of everyone's number on it. Like,
Oh really?
Yeah.
Literally,
I mean,
I
No
could.
one has the old number from back in the day.
No,
anymore,
literally,
so
I could
don't,
only call my mom or
Except my grandma.
911.
We should
So
call-
that's my emergency contact.
And even then, sometimes I get all dyslexic and I do 119. And
Yeah.
I'm just like,
If
I
it-
have to save it.
If it wasn't late, I would call my childhood number just to see.
yeah, just to check.
But I don't.
Hey,
It's late. And I don't want to be a
hey,
dick.
girl, what's up?
I know my
Hey.
grandma's phone number because she's had the same number my whole life, and I know Polly Ice Pizza in Iowa City, Iowa's phone number because it's almost the same number as my grandma, and I was raised on that
Yeah.
stuff too.
Yeah,
So-
all my grandparents are dead, and I never called a pizza place.
Oh, there you
Well,
go.
there you
Well,
go.
you
Not
know,
to
I
remember
guess
anything then.
not to sound like a dick, but that must suck. you
Yeah.
know?
Well, it's
fine.
probably because your parents waited till a reasonable age to procreate, whereas Jake's family, more like a 16-year-old.
I mean, they were going. They had that square chess piece looking fucking hat on
Yeah.
in getting their high school diplomas with
They
the baby
had
in
your
one hand. It was crazy.
Oh, cool.
your parents and grandparents probably valued education before having children.
Well, kind of, sort
100%.
of. I mean, like my grandparents were middle school dropouts, but my parents were the first their first gen college. So
Okay.
okay.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
So my parents were age, whatever.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Everyone in my family says reading is for fancy pantses and Yankees, which is weird because they're from Iowa. That's in the north. I don't know why the hell they would
Above
say
the
that.
Mason-Dixon
Okay,
Yeah,
line.
so-
yeah, I don't know.
Yankee-
They ain't good with geography. I don't think.
When the
They have no
when
idea
the baseball
what the
team
hell happened.
named themselves Yankees, did they mean it? Northerners?
Yeah.
What-
Yankee is northerner, like it's,
Yankee is
yeah,
north.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I knew Yankee is northerner, but I wasn't sure if it also meant something else.
But there was, well, I mean, it makes sense because Yankee was, New York would have been the biggest city certainly at that time. Like L.A. wasn't shit back then.
If North is Yankee, New York is the biggest.
Right?
Yankee.
Yeah. And especially back then, I mean, we didn't really have L.A. and shit, so it was, that would have been the big city up north, and that's what so Yankees would be.
Yeah, New York and Philadelphia would have been
and Philadelphia.
Because that would have been like before DC was like.
I'm from New Jersey, and there's definitely a big New Jersey divide of like, okay, so I'm from North Jersey, and to us, the city is New York.
Sure.
But to Central and South Jersey, the city is Philadelphia, and it's just
that must be sad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's weird when you meet people like that, and you're just like, we're talking about a different city.
Yeah.
We can never be united.
Yeah, we can relate, but it's just we need to,
Your whole life is a sad
specific.
Springsteen song. Jesus Christ.
So let's do one more quick lightning round.
Let's do it.
Lightning round.
All right.
It's the fourth one.
All right, fourth one.
I'm
All
gonna
right. Last question, but first,
I
let's
want
hear
to open
from...
the wall again, but I'm trying not to.
I'll tell you what we keep there. We keep more of our second bottle of wine, the Cuvée No Cat Sauvignon Blanc. It's got Catwoman on it. Check it out. Catwoman Sauvignon Blanc Bordeaux. Apollon Digor. I don't even know what this says, but it says Our Cuvée No Cat is the expression of the French modern culture. The ancestral know-how of winemaking combined with the design of a growing artist. The fruity Bordeaux is pleasant to drink. It boasts a delicate bouquet of fruits and flowers aromas, with a lively and harmonious finish. Wow, man, I really fucking stumbled through that one. But either way,
it was
this
tough
shit is
because
delicious.
there was background noise, so it's hard to concentrate on both.
Yeah, no, I keep it kind of cranked because on YouTube you can barely hear the music, so it sounds
sorry.
loud in the
it's
mix.
Just like
no.
in the I didn't mean to be weird about that.
No, yeah, it's.
I
should
give your
explain
sound
that
quality a
before the
6+. Okay.
No, I don't. I'm bad with sound. Whenever
Sorry,
I
not
have to do
sorry.
something with the sound, so I don't judge at all. It was just like, what?
Laura's a
in
real
my
sound
ears.
queen.
I know nothing about sound.
No. It's not sort of intuitive at all, man. It's weird. I don't know why it's like that on YouTube. For some reason, the mix is way down low.
I believe you, because I've noticed that happens on certain platforms.
Yeah.
When I try to put music on TikTok or Instagram Reels,
Sure.
you have to put the extra music on incredibly
Yeah,
low,
that's what's
or else
going on.
it's
Oh,
so
opposite.
blasting that you can't hear the original sound in the clip you're uploading. Could I have a little bit more wine?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
No.
It'd be annoying, but
Sorry, I thought
I
there was more wine in there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Just put it on the
Thank
table.
you.
Have
You're
a
the
bit more.
best.
Yeah.
Okay, so this next question, I'm gonna truncate it because So we'll do a lightning round. So the way we do lightning round is I'll read the question, then we just sort of go around the room and give our
We each get a turn.
hot takes.
I like when
essentially.
we get a turn.
Yeah. Okay. So this
It says number 4, right?
Will I know when it's
that's
my
number
turn, or will it be kind of like popcorn?
How about this? You can choose when it's your
Oh,
turn.
Oh, yeah.
shit.
Whoa.
Can I
Dive
okay.
on it like a fumbled football. Just dive on it.
I want to be second.
Okay. You can be second. Okay. Okay. So lightning round question. Last question. My boyfriend took me to a strip club where everyone knew him, and I don't know what to do about it. My boyfriend is 24 and I'm 23, and we've been together for 3 years. We met in college at 18 and 19. I live in a certain town, and he's always wanted to take me to a strip club.
Does it just literally say a certain town, or
yeah,
is it?
no, again, like, this is a longer question, but because I've read it before, like, I sort of know the details.
Okay.
I live in a town. He's always wanted me to take me to a strip club, so I agreed and said, okay, we can go to a strip club in my city. As we're walking into the strip club, a woman outside, obviously a dancer on break, waves to my boyfriend, and he waves back. I don't think anything of it. When we get inside, he starts speaking to her, and he goes, oh, you guys changed the pool table. You updated the club.
Why would he say that?
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name.
And penis.
He seems...
I would never comment on someone's pool table.
He seems to know everybody everywhere we go, but the thing
I hate people like that. I'm sorry, that's inappropriate, but I do.
Well, it's one thing when it's not a goddamn strip club. If it's
I
a
don't
normal
even
ass
mind
bar.
if it's a strip club, but I'm just like, I don't know. I don't understand when people just like know people. Like,
Wait.
why? What is?
So
why are you?
it gets better.
Let's get through
So
the question. Let's
so
see here.
the dancer outside comes in and talks to my boyfriend, and he says, the last time I bought a private room, it was only 18 minutes. She says, well, you've never had a private room with me. It's not the fact that he goes to strip clubs. It's the fact that he has never told me any of this information.
Yes, and private.
Am I overreacting? Is her question.
Okay, but we didn't hear her reaction, so we don't know if it's over or under or mid.
She didn't. Well, she didn't react. Like she just had like a good time. She's now still processing. But
I said I was gonna go second, but I kind of want to go first. Is that bad?
Please go first.
Is it okay
Do it.
if I
Do it.
cut in front
Do
of
it up.
mine?
Of course.
Do it up.
Okay, so I think it's weird in general when you go to a place and a person doesn't tell you that they've been there before. Like, even if you went to, let's say, neutral because people get uppity about strip clubs. Let's say you were going to a mall and the person knew the entire layout of the mall in their mind. They had a mind map.
You're like, how do you know this lids was here?
Yeah, and you walked in the door.
The mall thing's weirder than the strip club.
Yeah.
I was just picturing another bar. That's why I was singing the Cheers theme. You're picturing just an entire mall.
Explain to me how you knew that Auntie Anne's validates parking.
You walk into the mall and Auntie Anne's guy is like, hey, sir, do you want extra butter on the pretzel? And then another person pops out of Forever 21 and is like, hey, sir, we have things with extra bedazzled gems on them. You're just like, what the fuck? Is this your hometown?
Right.
Well, in defense, of small towns, we only have one mall, and it was always referred to as the mall.
Yeah.
So you never know.
It's possible. They all went to the same high school,
In defense of antisocial people, which I am, and I view everything through the lens of, I could go to the same place and not know anyone there for many years.
I like the idea of him going there.
I'll actually do you one better. I actually hate it when people clock me. Like if I have been in a place and then they'll say, "Oh, hi, good to see you again." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up."
I know. I feel like I'm having a stroke.
I live in New York to be anonymous.
Yeah.
I've been working on this case for 6 months.
Yeah.
We're about to blow an entire federal operation.
Oh, nothing makes me better.
It's not even a case. It's just like when people are like, I know you and have expectations of you. You're like, oh fuck, what are they? Do I have to live by them forever? Like you're I do have an uncle who goes to the same place every time and always orders a banana and coffee. And like when they just put down the banana and coffee, he's happy. But like if they put down
banana and coffee,
if they put down the banana and coffee,
is he a character in Curious George? That's such a weird order.
Yeah.
No, that's like the recipe to make your poop.
I think he
a banana and coffee. Like that's been making men poop for millennia.
And I like a banana and coffee, but I don't want to be locked into it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, do they bring him baby wipes and a bidet too with that? Like that's crazy.
The hemorrhoid ones.
He would for surely be afraid of bidets if he heard of them because it'd be a new thing for him.
Oh, you need to show that man a new face of this world.
Because A, they're great, and B, I'm not even a banana and coffee guy, and I love mine. I mean, for a banana and coffee guy, that's
the
a throne.
idea of bidets,
that's a heavenly
but
throne.
I'm just like the idea of putting one together.
Super easy.
Every time I put together IKEA furniture, I put at least one piece wrong, and
No,
then I
IKEA
have to
sucks.
deassemble it and
It's a nightmare.
reassemble.
Yeah.
Putting together IKEA furniture is bizarre Guantanamo Bay torture, where it's like, okay, it's not technically the Geneva Convention.
I
but
love
you shouldn't
it
have
when I
people
figure
do
it
this.
out, but there's always a little bit where I'm like, you could have put this extra note in it and it would have made it so much easier and I would have understood. Or there's like a little bit missing from the drawing where you're like, okay, but I thought this piece could go on this way and it can't.
I've had them where the holes
enough.
don't line up exactly. That's another thing.
If the holes don't line up exactly, my neighbors are going to hear about it, even though
Which coincidentally brings us back to the strip club.
I was going to say, I kind of forgot. I kind of forget.
sorry.
I kind of forget the question to this lightning round
I'm sorry.
already.
I'm sorry.
It's just that she, her boyfriend her boyfriend badgers her to go to the strip club. They go to the strip club. He's obviously been there a shit ton of times before.
Okay.
But he's never, like, said anything to her.
Okay, so I can do lightning. I'm sorry, I did long form. my lightning is no shame in the strip club, but, like, you need to tell people when you've been to a place a lot before, because it changes how they should react to that space if you've been there a lot before or you haven't.
This goes times 10 for a strip club.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, because it sucks going into a place where you're a noob or where you're like weird. And if you've been to a place a lot, you can give extra feedback and information about how you're supposed to act, and that he didn't just do that kindness for her and was like, oh yeah, it's just a random fun night, and acted as if he'd never been there before. Like, fuck him. Like, seriously, fuck him.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, my final advice is listen, it's fine to obviously go to a strip club again. Her issue is not that he went, that he, like, does all these private dances.
If you've even been to a coffee shop and know the baristas, like, let me know. And let me know how much small talk I should have with them and what I should say. Like, if you don't tell me what to expect with the space that you want me to go to, like, no, that's not okay.
I like that Laura is more freaked out by social interaction with strangers than with strangers grinding on her boyfriend's dick in a private dance room.
Yes, I am.
There's no words. Yeah,
yes.
you're just listening to like a the weekend song.
I need social prep. And what's wrong?
So
with
what's
that?
Suzanne, what's your
final?
final?
I agree, 100%.
So my final advice is, listen, just explain to your boyfriend that it made you uncomfortable with the fact that you obviously had been there before, and he didn't say that. Just say that it's uncomfortable. And if he is, it's fine. Yeah, sorry, I'll do it next time. Or if he then divulges other details, then you can deal with it. But if he flips out on you, that to me is a red flag. So that's my final advice for her. What do you have to say, Amy?
So my final advice is, I feel like the reason why she's pissed is because she went there. He's obviously been there many times, and she did not get any free drinks out of it. Okay? I would not care if you are a regular. If you're a regular, I better not be having any sort of a bill issue.
Because drinks at a strip club
I feel like
there should have been some sort of a hookup. So my final advice is, I think you're a little bit overreacting. Only if you had to have a full price bill, because strip clubs are expensive. So that's my final advice.
So I agree with you that strip clubs are expensive, but I think if you're going there, even if you're a regular, you should still pay for your drinks. And but even if you get free drinks, you should still tip well, and especially tip the dancers. They're working hard, and
Yes. I'm not saying you can go in there and just leave with not paying. I'm just saying if you're gonna if you're gonna act like the baller of the place, I expect some little
Mario
privilege.
behind the bar is gonna hook your girl up.
But okay.
I'm not paying for a drink while you're getting a private dance, you bastard.
Yeah.
I think though, what's tricky about that is strip clubs kind of run on regulars who think they're special, but
I think that's every place.
Are not
every
special
restaurant.
and should be paying full price and good tip.
Have you, Laura? Have you ever been to America? Have you?
America? Oh, the country? I was born
She's a
here.
Russian spy. I knew it.
I am a Russian spy, unfortunately.
People who expect top service yet don't want to pay anything.
She hacked into that lady's phone.
Her whole country.
She blamed it on some coworker. She hacked into his phone. Got plans to invade the Ukraine.
Yeah, but I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you though. What you're saying, yeah.
What's your final?
Because
advice, Jake?
I think sometimes men go to a strip club, or anyone goes to a strip club. I'm not even gonna just say men, and they're
but 99.9% men.
Yeah, they get confused about the dynamic because it's someone showing you affection and attention, and like a therapist situation, they think oh, well, you care about me, so I shouldn't have to pay you. But really, it's but that's this person's job, so you should have to pay them even more.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah, a stripper cares about you slightly more than a hooker, but slightly less than a therapist. You know what I mean? They're all kind of along the same lines, you know?
Yeah. What about you, Jake? What's your final advice?
All right, my final advice. To me, I agree with what you guys have been saying about the, hey, by the way, I know a lot of people here, wherever that is, be it strip club, be it mall, be it crack house, be it wherever, you know? That said, I think that goes 20-fold for a strip club, just because, look, a lot of people don't have the same views on sexuality and on strip club. People range sexually on the scale in our society, in modern day American society, between I fuck on camera for money and I make a lot of money doing it and I file it on my taxes, and that's what I do, and me and my partner do that, and like whatever, to I can't go outside without a thing covering my entire body except for eyes, and I must be, you know, so like you got to figure out where your other person is on that scale, right? He did not do that with you.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you in that, like, they should have had a conversation before this point.
That's what I'm saying.
Of like, yeah, I'm saying I agree with you.
So,
of like what is to you.
Hold on, I got the thought.
This advice is brought to you by Kave no Katsabi on
tough.
Vlog.
I know I'm like not the most articulate right now, but I also really have to pee right now, and I'm trying to wait till the end of the episode. But like maybe I should just go and then come run back.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
is that
go
okay?
ahead.
Are
Yeah,
people
go ahead.
mad at me?
I'll put the camera on me.
No, I think let's
Yeah.
just wrap this up because this was supposed to be lightning.
Sure,
round.
sure, sure.
Wrap it up. Okay.
Sorry,
My
not
advice-
to like be cruel about it.
Go to-
but
go-
but
yeah.
I think we've all given our final advice to this question.
Well, you've
so,
gone with him.
yeah.
No, my final advice is this: is you've went with him to the strip club. Act super fucking cool about it, but just be like, hey, know that I'm an open-minded person. That's not necessarily where I'm at with sexuality. I want you to come with me to where I normally go on Saturday nights, right? You hire an improv team to pretend to be religious extremists, like straight up, not just like the sort of normal Christian people, but the kind that sit around going, Harry Potter is the devil. If your child has a broom for Halloween,
We
they
ain't
will burn
reading no
in hell.
sorcery around this place.
She's grinding on the devil's pole in that strip club. She is giving you a man a
Those
private
people
dance
sound
in
like
the seventh
hot
circle of hell.
freaks to me.
Yeah. So you bring her in there, you bring him in there, and you just go, yeah, these are my friends. So how about one weekend we hang out with the strippers, the other weekend we hang out with Reverend Jimmy and the boys, you know? And you just give them that ultimatum. See, I'm Mr. Open-Minded. Look at me. I'm getting a lap dance. I'm Mr. Free Spirit until I hear something I don't like, you know?
Fair
Give him
enough.
something he doesn't like.
So your hot take is to do an elaborate prank show?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And film it and send it to the Love Gurus podcast. This has been a great episode. We answered all the questions. Thank you to both of our
you to
guests
all the
today.
listeners.
Thank you to Amy Liszka. Thank you to Laura Merli.
Yeah.
Thank you to all the listeners. Thank you to everybody on YouTube. Thank you to Joel. Thank you to Tim. And most of all, thank you to the listeners. We'll see you next week. Write us at loveguruspodcast@yahoo.com and watch live every